us on YouTube by helping us reach 1,000 subs by going to Nonfiction Filmmaker. Once you start, when you get 1,000 subs, your videos can start being monetized. So that money we will put into helping parents and adults and children, of course, with bullying. So that's why we ask you to support us there. There are many ways that you can support us without spending any money. We talked about this before, right? You can share their posts. You can like their posts. You can tag someone to the post of the Bully Exposed. You can comment something nicely, and of course you can post a pic, especially if you buy any one of the great t-shirts that we have at represent.com/store/thebullyexposed. So there was no show last night. I didn't really do a show this morning either. I figure everybody is on vacation, so I might as well give myself a vacation as well, even though I'm on lockdown where I'm at. So there's one more person that I wanted to give a little shout out to, and I can't seem to find my little picture that goes with it. I'm being a bad host this evening. Oh, there it is. So be sure to support our good friend Marcus Davis as he is creating, and it should be out very soon, the Guardian Angel app. It's going to be available for download on iTunes and Android phones. I don't have Android phones, so I don't know the name of whatever app they use to download anything. And I want to let you know that, again, at represent.com/store/thebullyexposed, you can get shirts like this one. This is a post that's an upcoming post. It's not a post that's went up yet. It's an upcoming post. You can get it in a t-shirt if you like it. Most of our posts we can't. So just let us know what post you like, and we'll try to make a shirt out of it so you guys can enjoy and keep with you. Ash, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? So let me call in some of my AA1s from day ones. Let's see. Let's call Princess in. We'll call Blue. We'll call SK. We'll see if Trini is up. She just had a birthday. So happy birthday to her. We definitely want to let everyone know. Let's see. And I think that's it. That should be it. So we'll just sent out an email, let everybody know. Otherwise, you're just going to be here to hear me talk, which is fine too, right? So today in story time, somebody asked a very good question, like, what was the most racist thing you ever heard? Anyone, like anyone's ever told you? Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that have a real warped sense about life. That's for sure. I can remember when I was a kid, people would say that if you're dating someone outside of your race, then that's not in God's plans, and you're breaking God's law. And they used, unfortunately, they used that to push their agenda, push their agenda and their hatred for other races. Nowadays, we're doing it with people in the LGBT community, right? That's what they say now, that if you are gay, you're not living up to God's plans, which is very ridiculous. Before I get to my thing that I've heard, I want to get to a few that people have told me. So I had a friend that told me that one time he was told that, and I'm not going to put what religion he was or what religion the other person was. Well, let's keep that out. The main thing is the ridiculous stories, and that's the thing that we should just be focusing on, is the ridiculous stories. So my friend told me that one time someone from another religion told him that they were told that his religion has tails. And it's like, I can't believe what people are falling for. Because to me, if someone tells you something, about a certain race or a certain group of people, and you go up to that person and you say, hey, I want to know, is this true that your religion has, the people have tails like the devil? If you tell someone that, you kind of believe it a little bit. Or if you don't, well, I guess you don't have to believe it. I shouldn't say that. But somehow it's got you complexed, right? And you want to know what's true, where the lie is. To me, I would never ask someone that, because I would know that something like that is untrue. That's just me. I wouldn't waste my time telling a person, that. It just wouldn't happen, because I just would know that that person who told me that story is just racist, unfortunately. Hey, Pico, thank you for joining the show. Konnichiwa, Rico-chan. How are you guys doing? So today we are talking about weird stories. They could be of racism. They could be of other things that people have told. One other story that I have also heard is somebody told me one time that this is really ridiculous, truly is, that they say that the earth started this way. Everyone was white. Okay? Everyone was white. This is sort of like an Adam and Eve story, right? For those of you that don't know the Adam and Eve story. There was Adam and there was Eve. And Eve took a bite from the forbidden apple tree. And, things broke loose. Let's put it that way. Okay? This is his version of the Adam and Eve story. So everybody was white. Then, when people started to do evil things, that's when, I guess God, I don't know who, added color to them. And that's why they come up with this myth that people of color are evil. And that's how that all came to be. And that's what this guy told me. Now, that story really doesn't make sense to me, because when you punish someone, you take something away, you don't add. And I left that guy thinking very much, because I said, well, that makes no sense. Because if you are, I feel, I told him straight, I said, I feel that maybe the world was all black. And then, as you did evil, then you got color taken away from you. Because like I said, if my son's bad, and I'm going to take something away from him. If you drive drunk, you get your license taken away from you. You don't get things added on, you get things taken away. And I had him think that for a while, and I really threw a wrench in his thought process of that, which I left him with. It's all just a way to promote racism, so you shouldn't believe it. Let's see. Pico says, what's wrong with humanity? Humanity came from Africa. That's what I hear. Oldest bones found were on Africa. White people are genetically mutation according to science. How is that? The oldest humans aren't white. The oldest are African, including black Africans and brown Arab Africans. Okay, Adam and Eve's story was told after the what's this word? Mesopotamian. I hope I pronounced that right. I doubt I did. Mesopotamian civilization. I didn't know that I was going to have to read big words today, Pico. Yeah, so it's really ridiculous, the stories that I guess some churches or some parents would tell their kids to instill that racism in them, or that belief that one religion is better than the other. It's a shame. Let's see, Mesopotamian civilization was the cradle of all civilizations. Interesting. Thank you, Pico. I love that. And I noticed you got that. Cat. What's the name of that cat again? I remember when I went to Japan seeing that cat. But these are stories that people tell people to push their narrative of racism, and that one is better than the other, and we're not any better than the other. I'm not any better than you guys because I'm up here talking. Laurie Key, thank you for joining the show. That's funny that we mentioned Africa. There's my friend Laurie Kate, from South Africa. How's it going, Laura? So let's see. Pico says, and after the Indian civilization and the Chinese civilizations are rocking. But this is what people say, guys. This is what people say. I could remember, here's my one of my ridiculous stories that I heard. Somebody told me one time that Hispanic people think that their ancestors are reincarnated as roaches, and that's why we don't kill them, and we have so much of them. We have so much of them in our homes, if we do have them. I don't have them. Not every Hispanic person does, but the person that does is because they're probably living in the ghetto, or they're living in a place where there are a lot of them. It's not that anyone is worshiping them. It's really ridiculous. It's really crazy the way some people think. Maron, thank you for joining the show. So, I'm curious, anyone out there, have you heard any weird stories about your religion or your race or anything of that nature? Has there been anyone that has heard a story? Whether you're watching this live or recorded, put your comments if you've heard a story that you just knew was ridiculous. But it's really funny that people would come and ask people, is this true, that what I hear about your race or your religion? I think that it shows that they don't believe it, which is good. But I think that you shouldn't play into it. You should know when you hear BS, And the reason why I bring this up is because this is how the bully works as well. Coming up with rumors and stories that just are not true about your religion or your race of people, to make you seem different, so that people don't want to come around you, or so that people don't see you as human. And then they're able to tear you apart and bully you more, and no one's going to stop them because they don't look at you as human. And that's how the whole bullying process starts. And it unfortunately starts at home for some people. Unfortunately. Let's see. Pico says the Mesopotamian black and Arabs Egyptians, civilization, and Black and Arabs, Native American civilizations, Aztec and Mayans, Indian civilizations, Aryan Indians and Darwinian Indians, and Chinese civilization. Wow. Where did you learn all this stuff, Pico? Did you learn this in school? But that's what I wanted to, that's what I wanted to do today in story time and hear your guys' stories. So leave a comment if you're watching this in the recorded version. Please leave a comment. I want to know the weird stories, and we'll talk about them again in another episode. I want to know the weird stories that you have heard about your religion or your race. Those are the only ones that I could remember, because they really stuck with me because they were so ridiculous. And then comes the Roman civilization, and then the Greek civilization. So, excuse me, guys. If you yawn, by the way, you're very empathetic. Remember that. If you didn't yawn when I just yawned, check yourself. Just kidding. So, is this the stage in which they came in, Pico? So let's see. I learned it in school. Yeah. That's very interesting. But yeah, it's really weird to me. Really, really, really weird to me. The things that people will come up with. And like I said, it's important that you guys see it and know it when it happens to you. When the bully is trying to make references to you about not being human, you being different. Because for some reason, I don't know why, we don't want to protect people that we see as different. And if you say things a certain way, then other people will see that person as not human, and then that bully can come and kind of, just rip you apart and tear you down, and no one's going to call him on it. No one's going to say, hey, stop, because they don't see you as human. Let's see. Pico says, yes, sir. I mean, sorry. My spelling is bad. No. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. Because you speak two languages. So it's that, if you get one thing wrong, it's not a problem. And my good friend Kate is quiet up there. How are you doing, Kate? How's everything in South Africa? What time is it in South Africa? So it's important to not pass these rumors on. That's another thing that I wanted to mention. That's why I also mentioned this. When you hear rumors about people being, oh, that person's weird, or I heard that he does this, or I heard that he does that. Don't spread those rumors. Don't laugh at those rumors, because that helps spread them, I think. If you say to the person, like when they said, hey, I heard people of this certain religion has tails. Look at them and say, God, hey, this is ridiculous. There's no way that is true. And you're making yourself sound stupid by repeating something like that. That's exactly what I would tell a person. So that's what we should tell people when they tell us rumors that are going on about specific people. So Pico, what have you and Rico Chan been up to? Does Rico have a comment today? She doesn't have to comment about what we're talking about now. If she wants to comment about a story or something that she has on her mind, she's more than welcome to, because I always love hearing the female point of view. So please, Rico-chan, please come up with a question or make a statement that we can talk about. It's important, guys. I'm talking to all the guys out there. It's important that we support women and that we include them in things. So whenever I get Riko-chan on, or any other female, I like to get her point of view, and that's important to do, guys. All too long, women and people of color have been thrown to the sidelines, we can say, and it's time for them to start playing in the game because they want to play in the game. So it's time to start including them. So Rico, what do you have to say? Make a comment about anything. How was your day? You guys haven't been on the show in a while, and I'd like to know how you guys are doing, because I haven't talked in a while with you guys. Anything interesting happen at work or anything? So they probably have nothing to say. Hopefully they're not getting knocked out. So while we wait for their answer, just remember, guys, don't spread the rumors in your schools, okay? When you hear something ridiculous, like the things I said in this show, definitely let the guy know that they sound ridiculous and that you shouldn't be spreading that rumor anymore. And change has to start coming. I know people don't want to see it. People don't like change, but change has to start coming, because this is definitely ridiculous. These rumors and saying whatever it is that you're saying. I don't want to put anybody down, but whatever it is that you're saying, ridiculous. Let's see. Rico-chan says, I have seen so many people thinking all East Asians have the coronavirus. Yes. How to stop this chain of racist rumors of Eastern Asians? It's not just Chinese. That's all I can read was the "it's just not Chinese" part. So maybe type in again what you said. Yeah, it's a shame. Back in the 1920s, I think it was, there was a disease called influenza that really hit hard. Influenza, you can still find today, but I think we have created a vaccine for it, so you really don't see it as much. But back in 1920s, they had influenza. It was said to have started, but it didn't. It was said to have started in Spain. So because of that, they called it the Spanish flu. And there are still people today who just say the Spanish flu like it's nothing. But they're not realizing the Hispanics in America that were treated like the Chinese and Asians are being treated now because of the coronavirus. And people just don't see that. And it's a shame on them, and they should educate themselves, because I've seen some very intelligent people call it the Spanish flu, and it's not the Spanish flu, and it did not originate in Spain. I can't remember offhand now where it originated, but it did not originate in Spain, and it's a shame. It has to be Americans that do this. It has to be the Americans that are starting this, because there was a flu, I can't remember what flu right now, that started in America, and no one called it the American flu. We just called it what we called it. So it's always the American, unfortunately, that has the mindset of let's call it something racist, basically. So let's see. Rico-chan also says it's not just Chinese who are targeted. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's anybody who looks like Asians are attacked also. Yes, that is absolutely true. I had a friend who was Hawaiian, who, when this epidemic first started, was not attacked physically, but was attacked verbally in his town, and it's terrible. It is. You gotta learn to educate yourself, people, and know that it is not the Chinese flu or whatever else people call it. It is corona, and the reason that it's corona, and corona is a Spanish word, so don't, all the racists out there, please don't think, well, if it's called corona, maybe it was given to us by the Spanish. No, it's called corona because the germ looks like it's wearing a crown. So the guy or girl or woman, I should say, the male or female doctor who discovered it decided he was going to call it corona because it looked like it was wearing a crown. And corona is a crown. That's what a crown is in Spanish. So that's how it got its name. But yeah, we gotta, and it's really ridiculous. Why are we, who cares where it came from, how it came from? We have to start thinking of a way to stop spreading it, more importantly by washing our hands and by wearing a mask and by staying 6 feet apart from each other. That's the things we need to worry about, not where did it come from, or bullying or harassing Asian people because of it. But yes, you're absolutely right, Rico-chan. It's not just Chinese who are now being subject to the harassment. It's almost every Asian, every Polynesian person. If you look Chinese in any way, that's going to happen. And that happens a lot, unfortunately, because of stupid people. I told you many times, I had a friend who is Russian. I had a friend who's Russian. I had a friend who's Italian. I had a friend who is also Norwegian. 3 different friends. All have experienced racism in America because they come to America. They speak with an accent, and these ignorant people can't tell. Some can't tell where they're from, so they just think right away they're from Mexico and they're Mexicans and they need to go back to their country and all this other racist BS that they say. And it runs along that same line. It's like, please, get a clue, get a brain. Yes, sometimes when people speak English, I can tell where they're from. You can tell a Mexican person sometimes speaking English, or you can tell a Russian sometimes speaking English. Sometimes you can't. But the thing is not to just go up to people. I would like to know, I would love to talk to a racist person and know, when did being foreign, when did that become a bad thing? You know what I mean? Was it always a bad thing? But when did it become a bad thing? It's like, immigrants get the job done, period. And, some of the greatest nations are built on immigrants, on the backs of immigrants. But and then once they're built and everything is built, they never let them share in the greatness, and that's a shame. That truly is a shame. We really have to start working on that as human beings, because I'm sure that it happens everywhere. But that's a very good question, Rico. You always have good thoughts. I like it. Do you have another thought? Do you have another thought? While we're waiting for Rico or Pico to come up with another idea or another topic, I want to let you guys know that please support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. As you guys may know, YouTube plays commercials on a lot of their videos. So one way that people who put content like the Bully Exposed and like me, one way we can get donations is with you guys subscribing to our channel. So go to Nonfiction Filmmaker, subscribe to our channel. Once we hit 1,000 subs, and once we get 4,000 people, 4,000 hours of viewing, then we can start receiving some of those, that monetization, and then we can start doing the good that we want to do to create more films and tell more stories about bullying. So please help us out with that. We really do appreciate it, and it doesn't cost you any money. All you simply have to do is just go and subscribe to our channel, and be sure to remember that you can check out live feed with your host Richard Santiago on Instagram. On YouTube with captions. So if you like watching, I know some people told me I watch it when I'm on the train and I can't hear it all the time. So can you put captions? You can go over to our YouTube channel and watch there, and it'll help us out at the same time, and you can read it with captions. So I also want to let you guys know that we will give you a shout out. You guys have always telling us, hey, can you give us a shout out? Can you give us a shout out? That's like the number one DM that we always get. Can you give us a shout out? If you go to our feed, look at the inspirational post that you like best, screenshot it, place that on your feed, and we'll give you a shout out. Like our good friend, let's see if I can find them. There they are. Our good friend Voice What's Right did. They took a screenshot of 3 of our inspirational posts that they loved, put it on their feed. Be sure to tag us on it, guys. And so we give them a shout out. And when the next person does it, we'll give them a shout out as well. So kind of remember that. So just to kind of recap, we're talking about stories that people tell people to spread rumors or to spread hate, whether it's hate of race or hate of religion. And a good point that one of our followers, Vidiko Chan, brought up is that people are thinking that that the Asian community is at fault for the virus, and I know a lot of you are going to say, well, yeah, it started in China. Just because it starts in China doesn't mean that they're at fault, and it really doesn't matter. The point is that we have to fix this problem. That is what we need to worry about, more than where did it come from, who started it, because America, you don't hear it a lot, but America also has been at fault for starting, I think it was mad cow disease. I could be wrong about that. If you guys know, leave it in the comments, whether you're watching this live or in the recorded version. But I believe it was mad cow disease. No, it wasn't that one. Hold on one second. I wanna see if I can refresh my memory of what virus it was. It wasn't mad cow disease. It was man, it's on the tip of my tongue too. N1, yeah, there it is. H1N1. And I forget the name for that one, but I believe that is the medical term for it. H1N1. That started in America, and no one called it the American disease. So, Brianna. What's up, Brianna? Taking time from your vacation or your holiday, I believe they call it in Australia, to be with us. I appreciate that. How is your vacation going? Yeah, H1N1, if I remember correctly, was a disease that started in I mean, it didn't start. There was always strands of the H1N1. But in 2009, there was a pandemic that started in the U.S. Yep, it says right here. The virus merged. The N1 virus merged. It was detected first in the United States and spread quickly across the United States and the world. All right, there you go, guys. There is a disease that started in America, and no one called it the American disease, so we shouldn't go around calling this virus the Chinese virus. So Brianna says, yes, it's good. Her vacations or a holiday is good, awesome. I think he's coming now. Oh, Tully's coming? Oh, great. I didn't think you and your dad would be able to join us. I didn't send you an invitation because I didn't think your dad would be able to join us. I'll send him one now then. I just sent your dad one. So we're talking about weird things people have told you over the years, guys. Just for the people tuning in, and just to recap, I talked about how people said that Puerto Ricans worship roaches, and that's why we don't kill them, and that's why we have them in our homes all the time. We don't have them in our homes. Okay, that is a lie. Another friend of mine told me, when I told him this was what I was talking about, he told me that he had someone tell him that he heard that his religion has tails, and they don't have tails. They're human beings just like everyone else. And it's really a shame that people tell these rumors. What rumors have you heard? Let's see. Oh yeah, Pico says, "Oh yeah, I miss Tully." Yes, Pico. And Pico says, "Wait, what? Is that how you said it, Pico?" I can imagine that's how he said it. Wait, what? Yep, that's what people said about. And then another friend told me, I think, Pico, this is when you came in, that the world was once white, and then as people started to do evil things, they became, when you do evil things, you become dark, and that's why that's what the world we have now. And I just have to say that is ridiculous, because, and I told my friend that day, I said, well, let me tell you this. Whenever you get in trouble, you don't get things added, you get things taken away, right? That's what I told him. If you're driving down the street and you're drunk and you get caught, you get your license taken away from you, right? That's what happens. Or you get some rights taken away from you. Tully, thank you for joining the show. Tully's on the show. Everybody, smash that heart, everybody, one time. The A1 crew is back. My A1s from the day ones. That's what I call you. My A1 from the day one. Because from day one, you guys have always been with me, and I appreciate it, especially Brianna. And let me say again, guys, it's a couple of days ago was Trini's birthday. We wish she would have came on so we could wish her happy birthday. But let's all wish Trini happy birthday. Happy birthday, Trini. Okay, and Pico says, if Puerto Ricans worship roaches, Puerto Ricans would become immune to nuclear bombs and radiation. Yes, I get it, Pico. Yes, that's right. Roaches have outlived everyone, But I told the guy, just to tell you guys, I told the guy, so you're telling me, and just to recap for people who just joined. So my friend said that at one time everyone was white. And then when you did evil things, you had color added to you. And that's why, some people are afraid of African Americans or people of color, because they've had color added to them. So that means that they're evil. I don't know who started this, what dummy started this, but I like to slap him in the head, that's for sure. But so I told the guy, wait a minute, that makes no sense. When you are evil, you have things taken away from you. If you're driving, again, I use this, if you're driving and you're drunk, you get your license taken from you, right? If you murder someone, you get your freedom taken away from you. You get put in jail. You don't get things added. So maybe it was that the world was all black, and as you did evil things, you had color. You had color taken away from you, not added. So, and I'm not saying that is true, guys. Okay, I'm not saying that is true, but it shows the ridiculousness of some people who try to push their agenda of racism. That's for sure. And then I'm bringing Telly and everybody up to speed. And then our good friend Rico Chan brought up about people thinking that the virus is an Asian situation, and it's not. It's everybody's situation, and it's not the Asians' fault of Corona. And I asked the very good question. I put that. Hopefully, you guys can read that. I don't know. Can you guys read that? I'll pose it up to you. H1N1. So if H1N1 started in the United States, why didn't the world call it the American disease? Huh? Why didn't they go around calling it the American disease? It says right here, in spring of 2019, a novel influenza H1N1 virus emerged. It was detected first in the United States and spread quickly across the United States and the world. This new H1N1 virus contained a unique combination of influenza genes not previously identified in animals or in people. So it's called the American disease, the American virus. Let's call N1, if we're going to call Corona the Chinese disease or the Kung Fu flu, like some ridiculous people have said, then we have to call H1N1 the American disease. It's only fair, guys. But no, America wouldn't like that, would they? Telly says, what's the rules in America for people using their cell phone while they're driving? You're not allowed to use it. You're not allowed to use your phone. It has to be connected to some kind of device that can hold it up. The problem in America with that is that they don't punish the people that probably, and I'm not saying that they never punish, because I'm sure that somebody will turn around and say that is not true. I got my license taken away for driving with my phone. I'm sure you're going to find certain people that were punished the way they should have, but I don't think they punish people enough for it. And unfortunately, the police use it as a way to create racism. I think I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago about a black female federal officer who was pulled over for no reason. Then when the woman said, you have to tell me why you pulled me over, he said, you were on your phone. Which is like, I'm not on my phone. So I think because of that, also, that allows the situation to get muddied, and that these rules of driving with your cell phone are not really enforced, because lawyers are able to bring into cases where, well, this person was got a ticket and she proved that she wasn't on her phone, and it muddies the waters. And that's why cops shouldn't be doing this. These cops that turn around and say, oh, well, you were driving, they basically make up charges as to why they pulled you over. What else we got? Pico wants to know how Tully's doing. Tully says that feeling better now that I had a mini vacation. Are you already back from your vacation? Wow, that was quick. Seemed like just yesterday you left. Vacation. I thought you guys call it a holiday. Is a holiday different? But yeah, there you go, guys. I'm glad that I looked it up. 2009 H1N1 started in America. America disease. Call it the American disease. If we're going to go around and call corona the Chinese flu, then we need to call this one the H1N1, the American flu. And remember, guys, okay, don't call influenza Spanish flu. Okay, don't ever say Spanish flu. It was not. Let me look it up while I'm looking up stuff. Let's see, Spanish. I will call it. I will look it up as the Spanish flu, just to get some information. Doesn't mean I'm calling it the Spanish flu, guys. Okay. So let's see, Spanish flu. What do we get? Spanish flu, widespread, 1920, in the United States, was first identified in military. That's very funny. This so-called Spanish flu was also first detected in military personnel in the spring of 1918. That's the one that I was talking about earlier. It estimated that about 500 million people, or 1/3 of the world's population, became infected with the virus. Wow. The number of deaths were estimated at least 50 million, with about 600,000 occurring in the United States. This article, or this thing on in the web, doesn't state that it was first thought. I read another article that said that it was first thought that it started in Spain, but it did not. But it didn't say where it started. But this one says that it started with military people. It's very interesting. Thank you for smashing that heart, guys. Let's see. Just to relate to your international viewers, in Australia we call it holiday. Yes. Holiday, which originally, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that first it was called Holy Day, because you're taking a day off for God, and then that translated somehow into holiday. But it was originally called Holy Day. And I guess over the years it became holiday. This particular article doesn't say anything about excuse me, guys, about it being thought that it started in Spain when it actually didn't. But but interesting how the Spanish flu, what they call the Spanish flu, the pandemic of 1918, was first discovered to be spread by American military personnel, and that they, so instead of Spain. But it's funny, it's just basic things is that we shouldn't buy into that. That's for sure. Another thing of that is Obamacare in the United States. This probably doesn't affect people in other regions of the world. But in the United States, they calling it Obamacare was created to get people who dislike Obama not to like the plan. But it's a good idea. Countries that have universal health care and universal schooling, I think, thrive better. I mean, why are we taking away from our people the education? Is that really going to help a nation if you take education away from people? It's really not going to help a nation. So I hope that someday America will have the universal health care and schooling, so people can go to school for free. I think that's important. We have to keep our people educated in any all over the world. But so let's see. Tully says I have seen many YouTube videos with people stating that the police, that they are remaining silent because of the Second Amendment. I'm not too keen on my amendments, and I apologize for that. So let me look up what the Second Amendment is. I believe the Fifth Amendment is the right to remain silent, so I know it's not that one. So let me just see what the Second Amendment is. Right to bear arms, probably? Yeah, the right to bear arms. There, I got it. Should I have faith in myself? I didn't want to say the right to bear arms. So let's see. So now that I know what the Second Amendment is, let me read it again. How many YouTubers with people stating that the police, they are remaining silent because of the Second Amendment? I don't understand what remaining silent in the Second Amendment has to do, which, by the way, was ratified in December 15th, 1791, if anybody's wondering. And that was because the British always took guns away. And I think the Second Amendment is important, definitely is important. But I don't think that anytime soon anyone's going to lose that right. Oh yes, I made a mistake. The Fifth Amendment. Okay, the Fifth Amendment. Well, that's their right, and they're remaining silent because they know they're guilty. That's the way I look at it. They know they're guilty. I'm not saying that anybody who says exercises the Fifth Amendment is guilty. I'm just saying these particular people are, and probably a lot of them are innocent, and they probably can't say anything because of the big, huge blue wall, if you know what I mean. The blue wall, that wall that all police must stick up for each other. Even the bad ones have to stick up for the good ones, and that's a shame, because the minute that we give good cops the platform to come out and point out the bad cops and are able to walk in and are encouraged to walk in and testify against them, that's when the police atmosphere is going to get better in the United States and probably everywhere in the world. I'm going to assume that that's happening all over the world, where good cops are being bullied or harassed to stay silent, and things like that keep occurring. We got to weed out these bad cops. So hopefully the good cops that want to speak up find that strength to speak up and are not afraid of the retaliation that's going to happen. When they get stopped for traffic violations, what do you mean? All I know is this: they have those those cameras on their chests. Thank you for smashing the heart. Everyone, please smash that heart, whether you're watching this live or in the recorded version. Smash that heart. They have these cameras, and something goes down, and the camera works fine. The camera's working fine, and then all of a sudden, the person ends up dead, and all the time from when a scuffle happened to when the person's dead can all of a sudden can't be found. That, I'm sorry, you could see right through that. And I'm sorry, you make a rule. I can remember when we worked for the Postal Service, right? What the Postal Service did, and I'm all for it. It was a great thing that they did. They put GPS inside of our scanners. Inside of our scanners, they put GPS. And there would be people who would purposely leave the scanner somewhere and then go, I don't know what they did. They went and did something, and then when they were caught, it was like, well, I left my scanner over here, so I wasn't really doing anything bad. I just left my scanner at my last location I was at. And what are you going to say about that, right? Well, I say this. Okay, great. Everyone can leave their scanner someplace once. You leave your scanner again, termination. And I think that the same thing should go for the cameras on these cops' the body cams on these cops. Okay, you got a malfunction. Okay, you better make sure it works next time. because if not, you're going to be in trouble. And I think that that's what they should do. They can't have these cops. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable that someone ends up dead and the camera was malfunctioning that day. That's suspect to me. You carry your camera. You work as a cop for a year, right? Your camera works every day. All of a sudden, someone ends up dead and your camera doesn't work. That same camera that worked all year long? No. It's suspect to me, very suspect. And like I said, we got to give people a break. Maybe like that guy, that the postal carrier that I gave the example of, maybe he did leave it. Maybe he did leave it somewhere. Okay, you left it somewhere. But if it happens again, you're done as a postal carrier, and that's the way they should do it. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be like that. That I forgot it again. I forgot. Okay. That's Billy Bob. That's Bob. He always forgets his scanner. Nope. Or that's John. His camera is always malfunctioning. No, fix it. Fix it. Period. Don't take that camera. You can't tell me that if you have 100 officers, there's only 100 cameras. No. Postal Service was never like that. You always had extras just in case something went down. So there should be no excuse. There should be no excuse for breaking camera. Would you guys agree with that? I'd like to hear your comments about that. Should be no excuse for it. And I know that there's going to be a cop that's probably going to comment and say, well, you never worked in the field, so what do you know? And that is just the biggest cop out ever. I hear professional athletes say it too. Well, you never played professional sports, so what do you know? They say that to journalists. Whatever. There's certain things that you can say that to, but you can't say that when it comes to integrity. If I'm a police officer, I know now that because of what has gone on, that what is important is to have that camera working, because when they told us in the Postal Service that, okay, we're letting you know now, there is GPS in your cameras, in your scanners, you better start doing what's right, instead of getting lost in whatever people are deciding to do, better keep it on you. And that's when I always make sure. I grab my scanner. One of the first things I did was look and say, oh, half power? Nope. I bring that to my supervisor. I got a scanner that only has half a power. Can you give me a new one, please? And if they said, oh, just take that one out, okay. But I let you know this one has half a power. I can remember that happened to me once, where it had half a power. I told the supervisor it has only half a power. They said take it out anyway. It stopped working right in the middle of the shift. So tell your supervisor. That's the way I look at it. If you're being bullied, that's one thing, and especially by your supervisor. Make sure you never take a step without notifying your supervisor. I think that's what saved me a lot when I was being bullied at the Postal Service. But that's going to do it for us. And I want to say I'm so glad that Tully got to join us. I'm so glad that Rico-chan, Pico, and Boof, it's Brianna, or Oof, it's Brianna, am I saying that right? Got to join us. Thank you guys so much. Give me a topic for tomorrow. What do you guys want to hear? This is your show. Remember to check us out on on YouTube at Nonfiction Filmmaker, okay? Subscribe there. Smash the heart here. Comment, tell me your thoughts, what you think about what I said. What's the weirdest story you ever heard from someone about your race or your religion? And I want to remind you that Live Feed is brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, by Traveling Tech Teacher. And remember that anyone can wear the crown, anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another and have a great day. Bye, guys.